Imagine, just for a moment, that you are a fortress. Outside your walls, there is a storm. The economy is crashing, the traffic is gridlocked, people are shouting, the future is uncertain. But inside the walls, inside, the air is still. The fire is warm, the silence is absolute. Most of us live our lives entirely outside the walls. We are tossed around by every headline, every rude comment, every minor inconvenience. We have handed the keys to our happiness to a world that does not care about us. We are slaves to circumstance, but it does not have to be this way. 2,000 years ago, men who ruled empires and men who lived as slaves discovered the same secret. You cannot control the storm, but you can control the gate. Today, we are going to rebuild your walls. We are going to walk through 10 ancient lessons from Stoicism that will teach you how to remain calm, collected, and sovereign, even when the world around you is on fire. 1. The sovereignty of the mind, the dichotomy of control. The first brick in your fortress is the most important. It is the understanding of what is yours and what is not. Epictetus, the slave who became a sage, taught us the dichotomy of control. He said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." It sounds simple, almost too simple. But look at your anxiety. Look at your anger. Almost all of it comes from trying to control things that are not up to you. You try to control what people think of you. You try to control the traffic. You try to control the past. You are fighting a war against reality, and it is a war you will always lose. The Stoic realizes that the only true dominion he has is over his own mind, his reasoned choice, his character, his judgments. Everything else is external. Imagine life is an archery contest. You control the training, the aim, the tension of the bow, and the moment of release. But once the arrow leaves the string, a gust of wind might blow it off course. The target might move. The Stoic finds peace in shooting well, not in hitting the target. When you focus only on your own actions, the anxiety of the outcome evaporates. 2. The art of alignment, acceptance. Once you understand what you control, you must learn how to deal with what you don't. This is the lesson of acceptance, not resignation, not defeat, but active alignment with reality. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who faced plagues, wars, and betrayals, wrote often about accepting the weave of destiny. He understood that fighting against the inevitable is like a man banging his head against a stone wall and hoping the wall will break. The wall remains, only the man is broken. There is a concept called amor fati, a love of fate. It is the radical idea that you should not just bear what happens to you, but embrace it. If it rains, do not wish for Sunday. Embrace the rain. If you lose your job, do not wish for the past. Embrace the new path. When you stop arguing with reality, you stop suffering. You become like water, you flow around the obstacle, not because you are weak, but because you are adaptable. Acceptance is the ultimate form of strength. The answer of the Nove. Mindfulness. Seneca, the great statesman, warned us, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most of your stress is time travel. You are either excavating the graves of the past, regretting what you did, or you are projecting catastrophes into the future, fearing what might happen. You are never here, and because you are never here, you are never alive. Stoic mindfulness is the discipline of anchoring yourself in the present moment. The past is dead. It is a story. The future is a ghost. It has not happened. The only thing that is real, the only thing you can touch, is this breath, this second. When you feel overwhelmed, contract your timeline. Don't look at the whole week. Don't look at the whole year. Can you bear this specific moment? Yes, you always can. The weight of the world is too heavy, but the weight of the present moment is always bearable. 4. The alchemy of fire. Cultivate resilience. We live in an age that worships comfort. We think a good life is a life without pain. The Stoics knew better. They knew that a life without challenge produces a weak spirit. Epictetus taught that adversity is not a misfortune. It is a training partner. Imagine a boxer who never fights. He might look strong, but he is fragile. He doesn't know what he is made of. The Stoic sees every difficulty, every rude person, every failure, every loss as an opportunity to practice virtue. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. When the fire comes, be the gold, not the wood. The wood is consumed by the fire. The gold is purified by it. Cultivate the resilience that says, I did not ask for this, but I will use it. 5. The sacred pause. Choose your response. Between the event and your reaction, there is a space. In that space lies your freedom. Most people live on autopilot. Stimulus, mon, is greater than reaction. Someone insults you, is greater than you get angry. Traffic stops, is greater than you get frustrated. You are a puppet, and the world pulls your strings. The Stoic cuts the strings. The Stoic widens the gap. When something happens, do not immediately judge it as bad. Pause. Take a breath. Consult your reason. Ask yourself, does this actually harm my character? Or is it just an annoyance? By choosing your response, you become the master of your own soul. You realize that no one can hurt you without your consent. No one can make you angry unless you decide to be angry. You are the gatekeeper. 6. The wealth of less. Limit desires. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome, yet he practiced poverty. Why? Because he knew that slavery to desire is the worst kind of poverty. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. We are taught that happiness comes from getting what we want. The Stoics taught that happiness comes from wanting what we get. When your happiness depends on acquiring more money, more status, more pleasure, you are in a permanent state of lack. You are filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Limit your desires. Simplify your life. Realize how little you actually need to be content. When you stop chasing the horizon, you realize you are already home. Citadel. The 4 pillars. Be virtuous. What is the goal of life? For the Stoic, it is not pleasure. It is not fame. It is virtue. Arete. Excellence of character. The Stoics believed in 4 cardinal virtues. Wisdom, the ability to see things as they are. Courage, the ability to act despite fear. Justice, the ability to treat others fairly. Temperance, the ability to control oneself. When you are confused, when you are stressed, when you don't know what to do, return to these pillars. Ask yourself, what would the wise man do? What would the brave man do? Virtue is the only good, because it is the only thing that cannot be taken from you. You can lose your money, your reputation, your health, but you can never lose your character unless you choose to give it away. 8. The dust of kings, transience. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world. He had absolute power, and yet he constantly reminded himself, you are a little soul carrying a corpse. He meditated on impermanence. He looked at the empires of the past and saw how they had turned to dust. He looked at the stars and saw how small his problems were. This is not depressing. It is liberating. Understanding that life is short and transitory removes the weight of your ego. Why are you so worried about what people think? They will be dead soon, and so will you. Why are you so stressed about this project? It will be forgotten. Memento mori, remember you will die. This thought strips away the trivial and reveals what is truly important. It teaches you to live now, because now is all you have. Nissa, the alchemist's stone. Gratitude. Seneca taught that gratitude is not just a polite thank you. It is a way of seeing the world. It is the ability to turn what you have into enough. The ungrateful mind is always looking at what is missing. It sees the gap. The grateful mind sees the bridge. When you wake up, are you frustrated by the alarm? Or are you grateful for another day of life? When you eat a simple meal, do you wish for a banquet? Or do you appreciate the nourishment? Gratitude is a shield against bitterness. You cannot be angry and grateful at the same time. You cannot be anxious and grateful at the same time. It is the light that dispels the shadow of scarcity. Des, the unfinished statue. Keep learning. And finally, the Stoic knows that he is never finished. Epictetus told his students that philosophy is not a parlor trick, it is a hospital. We are all patients. We are all works in progress. To keep your calm, you must commit to the eternal student mindset. You must be willing to learn from your mistakes, to correct your course, to grow. Do not be harsh with yourself when you stumble. Just get back up. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Every day is a new block of marble, and you are the sculptor. Chisel away the anger. Polish the patience. It is a work that takes a lifetime, but it is the only work worth doing. The world will continue to be loud. The traffic will stop. The bosses will be demanding. The crises will come. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. By building this inner citadel brick by brick, lesson by lesson, you create a sanctuary that travels with you. You become the eye of the storm. Remember, peace is not the absence of trouble. Peace is the presence of the mind that can handle trouble. You are the keeper of the gate. Stay strong, stay grounded. See you next time.